Hey everybody, welcome to Blizzard Warning. For our weekly recap on Wednesday, we're going to start off and happy game day. Joining me is Jenna over here, and she's muted at the moment. How you doing, Jenna? Are you there? Well, till she gets her stuff figured out, we're going to go ahead and start off with this the recap of our last three games. We started off playing with Chicago with a glorious 5-0 win. 5-0 win in Chicago. We have been terrible on the road as of late. Anderton got the start. Absolutely phenomenal. That man came out of nowhere. Big surprise to me. His first start in a while. Comes out and shuts them down. Then we go to Nashville and we got our butts handed to us. It was not pretty. It did not look good at all. Dropped 5-1, which wasn't very good. They're sitting in the number one wild card spot. They're trying to chase us down the Central. Us being up.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, and Jenna's back. Welcome back.
I always have to have at least one technical difficulty.
There's always one. I mean, what can you do?
Yeah.
So, going back to that first win against Chicago, in Chicago, 5-0.
Yes.
Aside from Anderton getting his first shutout of the season, what was your big surprise for that
game? Of his career.
Oh, I stand corrected.
Stopped 24 of 24 shots. Had great offensive help and defensive help. They played a strong game, both offensive.
Well, yeah, tons of offensive help. Obviously, I mean, we were up 4-0 at the end of the second period.
Yeah, I mean, it was like
more help
it was
like
like the Oprah Winfrey show. You get a goal, and you get a goal, and you get a goal, and you get an assist. Like, here you go.
Just handed them out like candy. Let's go.
Because I mean,
but on top of that, that game also saw McKinnon break the 100-point mark in the season.
Yeah,
which was absolutely phenomenal.
So exciting.
I think he finished that with 101 points after that game.
Yeah. And yeah, because he had 1 goal, 1 assist. And then I mean, let's talk about Zach Parise in that game. 2 goals and 1 assist. Like,
the man put up 3 points.
He is living way above expectation of when he came here, and I am loving it.
Well, when he first got here, he wasn't really producing, and he was kind of like, a lot of us fans were questionable. Was this the right move? Like, did we bring him in? Like, that's a big caveat for us to not have any production out of you. Yeah. However, he finally set into his rhythm.
It just started clicking.
Like, he's finally gotten some chemistry with the line mates. He's moving the puck well. He's shooting the puck well. He's even playing really well defensively, grinding in the corners. Like, he's kind of showing old prime Parise again. Like, back when he was with Minnesota all those years ago. Like, he's playing like a man possessed.
Coach made a really good point today of the fact that he hasn't had the wear and tear of the previous half of the season. So he's going
he's like a fresh body.
He's a fresh body, fresh legs. Like, he's not banged up. He's not like
he's finally sitting with a true cup contending team. So now his motivation and his I guess you could say his cockiness and his drive is that much stronger.
He wants to win.
Well, of course. I mean, he's almost 40 years old.
But And a lot
cup.
of
Nothing to show for his career.
A lot of
He
people are
wants
saying
that cup.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying this is his last year. He wants to win.
Like he already announced at the end of the season he's retiring.
Yeah. So
like it's his last go at it, like Ray Bork did when he came to us. Like 22 years, never a cup, and then he comes here and we got him his cup and he was done.
And I'm sorry, I don't feel like there's any bigger compliment to an organization than a player wanting to come here because they feel like it's the best shot for them to win and they like our culture.
Yeah, like definitely.
I think that's a huge compliment.
That just shows like the type of organization that we have.
Ownership, GM, coaching staff, like I feel like it's just the entire organization. I think players want to come here and play.
Yeah, it shows like the type of organization we run here and like how quality of our drive to win is, and people see that.
Yeah. And Annanen had
someone just said, but why wouldn't you take Parise? Well, I mean, there's a few reasons you wouldn't. Him being, higher up in age, him being in his latter years, like he's not as fast as he used to be, and we're a really fast club, so he doesn't exactly have the speed that we're looking for.
Right.
But he's a good fill in those lower lines. So yes, I agree with you, but
he brings a veteran presence.
That's another reason why, like, I agree with you. Like, why wouldn't you take him? But like I said, there are certain things about his game, his play style that could really harm us in a certain way if he didn't find his stride like he did do.
Yeah. But
so yeah, that's a good thing to say. I mean, I agree with you there. I don't know who you are. You got to go through and give permission to StreamYard to be able to post your name.
We're just talking
so I don't know exactly who's speaking, but thank you for the comment. Agree, but he has one last shot at a cup, so he's going to play hard. He also has leadership. That I agree with 100%.
Exactly. Veteran leadership. All right. Moving into Nashville. As much as I don't want to talk about it.
Thank you for the comments, McCall. I appreciate it. And always love hearing from you guys.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Moving to the Nashville game. That one was tough.
Ugly.
I just think, me personally, watching that game, I don't feel like we wanted to play. We just didn't show up.
No.
We absolutely did not show up to play. We had no defensive presence. Took too many penalties.
And
turnovers
and we didn't have enough shots on goal. So the record, the Avs have a 24-12-4 record when they have 30 or more shots on goal this season. They only had 26 shots on goal in that game. 26.
We had a hard time even entering the offensive zone that whole game. But on top of that, you also got to give credit to Nashville where credit's due. They have been on a tear.
Yes. But I also will say that there was a concert on the ice the night before, and apparently the ice conditions were terrible.
I believe that.
And it showed.
I believe that.
I don't think that they should be allowed to do that the night before a hockey game. There's no way. There's no way to get it and even surface in that amount of time.
You can't really fight that though. It's just scheduling, and it's gonna happen.
I know, and you have to.
Michael's right. Like I was just saying, Michael's right. Nashville is fighting for a playoff spot. And they have been on a huge tear lately, and they are fighting to make sure they at least hold that number one wild card spot to where they're sitting right now.
And
So,
Georgiev did have a good game. He stopped 30 of 34, but I don't feel like he got a ton of defensive help and no offensive help at all.
yeah, like that's one of the other points I was just going to get to is Georgiev played great. He had his angles. He was tracking the puck well. He just had we weren't blocking shots. We weren't protecting the slot. It was just ugly.
It was just ugly.
You're breaking up again, Jenna.
You gotta. Oh, golly.
There you go. You're back.
I'm back. Okay. One day. But yeah, we've got to have more than 26 shots on goal. That's pathetic.
Oh, without a doubt. Like we average roughly 35 shots a game. Like,
and when
give
we
or take
have
a
30
few, but we're roughly like. All right. All right. This comment. Michael says we need a backup goalie to relieve stress on Georgiev. Yes, and Noonan has 2 shutouts, but it's against Chicago. No disrespect to them, but we need a solid backup. I disagree with you 100% on this one, and here is why. And Noonan, yes, his 2 shutouts were against Chicago. However, if you look at the way he plays, he has a calm demeanor in net, and the man tracks the puck very, very well. I believe he's better than Prosvetov.
He's seeing it like it's this big. Like
the man knows what he's doing, and he's working day in, day out to be better.
Like
so, yeah, like he's treating it like he's stopping a beach ball.
Yeah.
Like a Noonan he is a solid backup. And honestly, we couldn't go for a backup even if we wanted to because the asking price for any goalie on the market right now is way too high for us to go after without diminishing our offensive depth. So, like, we can't exactly go after and touch any sort of goaltender on the market. And most of them are already claimed.
And I think a lot of fans need to understand that we are going to have to start thinking about what we want to do with Mikko moving forward because that's going to come into play sooner rather than later.
The Mikko situation is going to be tough. I mean, we'll get into that here in a little bit when we go jump into all the trade deadline talk and what's going on in the league and this and that. But yeah, like it's going to be a tough one to kind of handle, and I kind of have an idea on how I think they're going to handle it. Okay. But we'll get into that here in a little bit.
Okay.
Moving past the Nashville loss, which sucks because there was a big division game, and I said this last week. We needed all 6 division games in those division games. We needed to win all those division games. Those were going to be huge. Us dropping that one to Nashville hurts because now, if you're looking at the standings, we are still sitting 2 points behind Dallas and Winnipeg. With Winnipeg having 2 games in hand and us having a game in hand on Dallas, that makes that Central Division race way too tight.
Way tight.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're 4 points behind Dallas now because they did win last night.
Oh, right.
But that's causing the Central Division race to just be way too tight, and it's going to basically come down to the last game on who wins the Central.
Yeah.
Is the way I'm kind of seeing it and like looking at numbers and trying to like crunch our last games. We still have a ton of games against Winnipeg, which are going to be huge.
Right. They are must-win games. Must win.
So then we moved into Monday night. We slaughtered Chicago again on home ice
with our troublesome backup goalie.
And I mean, on top of that, another great thing about Monday night and that 5-0 win is McKinnon puts up 3 points or 4 points.
Yeah, he had a 4-point game.
but it also extended his home point streak to 29 games.
And didn't he
Oh, sorry, 30
overtake?
games.
Didn't he overtake Kucherov in points?
He tied Kucherov. They both are sitting at 105 points on the season.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
And yeah, you're not wrong, Michael. Dallas with their win last night, yes, but Ottinger, you're not wrong. He's playing like shit right now. He's not tracking the puck well. I think he's already starting to feel injury and like dead tired, and I think his body's starting to kind of catch up with him at the late aspects of this season. And they really don't have a whole lot of defense running for him in front of him right now. So that is a benefit for the Avs to overtake them. But my big problem with the Central Division race will always be Winnipeg right now, because where they came from, I have no idea. But they're playing balls to the wall, great puck.
Yeah, for sure. But Annunen had an amazing game last night or Monday night. It just seems like when he looks at the puck, it's not normal size to him. 30 saves on 37 shots, back-to-back shutouts.
Yeah, I mean, like, the guy is just Noonan's a quality backup. Like, I didn't see it coming from a mile away. Yeah, like, it kind of just like jumped up and bit me in the buttocks like Forrest Gump and just came out of nowhere. The man is just kicking ass.
Yeah,
and I believe he's going to continue. He's going to get a couple more starts, pretty sporadically spread out.
And he got so much offensive help. I mean, McKinnon, 4-point game, 2 goals, 2 assists. Drouin, 1 assist. Makar, 1 goal, 1 assist. Colton, Gerard, Jones, Lehkonen, Parisi, Rantanen, and Taves, all with 1 assist. The Avs had 37 shots on goal.
37 shots.
Yeah, 30 plus shots on goal. We have a much better record when we have 30 or more. It's just, yeah.
I mean, like, stats don't lie a lot of times, and that's a pretty good stat to look at because that's from the beginning of the season. And like, that's
the year
shows what we do.
The year they won the cup, they were 46, 11, and 7 when they had 30 plus shots on goal.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense because we were on an offensive tear that entire cup run. So, I mean, we're kind of on that way again, but our big problem right now is, like, as we move into the standings, which is going to be huge for us, is we need to start playing better on the road. If we don't start playing better on the road, we're going to become a sinking ship. We're down to 19 games left in the season.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of tonight, we will have 18 games left in the season, and it's pretty much half and half for home and road. So we need to play much better hockey on the road.
They've got to figure it out. Like, it's madness.
I mean, like, the closest team behind us is Nashville in the standings. I mean, they're sitting with 73 points. We're sitting with 81, was it?
Yes.
So, like, we have a lot of division games coming up in the upcoming schedule.
Yes.
So that just shows how crucial each game is. I think 3 of those games is against Winnipeg, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, we have the Red Wings tonight.
Yeah.
Then we have another Then we have another division game with Minnesota on Friday, which is the trade deadline.
And then Dallas.
Then we have Calgary.
Oh, Calgary.
And that's another big one because it's in Calgary. And then, yes, I think in Florida.
And then Florida. Yep, you're right.
So, I mean, these next stretches of games are going to be super important, especially one, we're also going to be struggling a little bit for the simple fact that we've just acquired a few new players. We got new pieces to mix in and get chemistry right and all that. So it's going to be a rough 4 to 5 games.
Luckily, I think that they're young enough players and they are just coming up that I think that they'll be able to adapt pretty well.
And yeah, like so Michael's right. Like we also get Achushkin back. We get Choo-Choo back on Friday. Like we were listening, like we were all three listening to the to the morning show this morning, and even Bednar was saying he's just waiting for the protocol to actually allow him to play in game, and that should be cleared by Friday.
Yep.
And as we were talking not long ago, the record that the Avs had when he was in the lineup is substantially larger and better than the record we've had, which is barely 500 since he's been out of the lineup. So getting him back is going to be unbelievably huge. And on top of that, like you said, we're going to have our 2 additions that are getting thrown into the lineup. So Minnesota is going to be an interesting game to watch.
Yeah. I agree.
You're cutting out again.
I think
You're cutting out again. You're breaking up in and out. Don't you love technology? And yeah, like he was saying,
no,
while you get your
really
mic
don't.
fixed. Oh, did you get it fixed? Are you good?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now.
Like every other word. Okay,
you're good.
I'll be right back. Oh my god.
So, but yeah, all right. So you're right, like 100%, Michael. Like he was one of the greatest steals that we were able to get, because the way he plays in front of the net, he was a great fill-in for when Landy went down. With Landy being out, he was our big front of net presence, our big deflection guy. Nichushkin took that role and far exceeded anybody's expectations. So you basically click on the link for Streamlabs. It'll say something about allowing StreamYard to use your Facebook name in the comments, so that way it doesn't, on our end, we see it as Facebook user. And once you do that, and once you hit allow to allow that, your name will pop up and we'll be all great. So that's not a weird question. That's a really good question to ask, because first time I end up coming on, like as a viewer, I've had the same thing. So my big take for right now, until we get Jenna back, we have this game tonight against the Red Wings. I think it's going to be a pretty heated game. For the ultimate fact is we gave up 2 points after outplaying them all game the last time. I see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. So, but tonight's game against the Red Wings is going to be, I think it's going to be a hard-hitting, hard-fought kind of game, because there's animosity between the two from the last game, with them coming back and beating us in overtime when we outplayed them for 50 minutes of a 60-minute game. They outplayed us in the last 10 minutes.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a little bit of animosity. And then on top of that, if you look on the Eastern Conference side, the Red Wings are still fighting for a playoff spot over there. So they want any point that can come their way, especially against a Western Division opponent, because it doesn't really, like if they do lose, it doesn't really affect their standings super crazy, other than the fact they don't get 2 points.
Right.
So it turns into like when I love when we do our Eastern Conference swing, because if we do lose a couple of them, it doesn't hurt us because we're not losing ground to a team we lost to. it's a whole, like, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how tonight plays out.
Yeah.
So,
Tonight.
but with that in mind, let's jump over into our trades that we have picked up today. Let's talk about how exciting this is going to be. I was not expecting any of this to happen. I had to have a hospital visit with my grandmother this morning, and I was sitting there.
I had a feeling about the Byram trade, honestly.
I had a feeling for it, but I didn't think it was going to happen till like last minute deadline.
I've been reading about it.
But the one that really grabbed my attention, honestly, was going after like dumping Johansson, which we all thought was going to happen because we needed the cap space to make a different pickup. But getting rid of a first round pick and Johansson to the Flyers for Sean Walker, and the Flyers are retaining his salary, which is huge. Only one GM in this league do I know that can make a trade to where we basically lose nothing, and that's Joe Sakic. All hail Joe. Trust in Joe.
Yeah.
Like WWJD, what would Joe do?
Right.
So exactly. That one is huge. And as I was talking a little bit with Scott earlier, losing Byram is okay because of the minutes that Sean Walker plays. It fills in really well with us losing Byram to get Middlestat, which is a forward, which we needed for fourth line depth scoring.
Right.
And yeah, like he just said, Sean Walker's a stud in Philly. Like the guy is good. Like get rid of that mediocre offenseman to strengthen up your decor, as well as to be able to bring in another high scoring forward. It's a win-win all the way around. I'm sad to see Bo go. But that kid is going to thrive anywhere he plays. He is that good of a defenseman.
Yeah.
And if we didn't get rid of him, like use him as bait or use him as any sort of trade right now, his value is just going to slowly plummet, and we'd end up not getting anything out of him. We'd end up letting him walk, which we want to get something out of these players. Like we got to benefit off of it.
Absolutely.
Byram's a great player, but was always injured. Yeah, and that was another big thing I said, which I said I was okay with, is his head injuries have just been plaguing him the last couple years, and like you said, one more concussion, he's done.
Yeah,
and one more. One trade with Buffalo for Middlestat, that's a steal and a half.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on it?
I think it was I think it was a good decision. I agree with it 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have not added that first round pick in with the Johansson trade for Walker? Or do you think that first round pick was only thrown in so that way they would retain his salary?
I think that's why they did it.
Which is great, because then he's not a cap hit on us, so that still opens up $5 million, which goes into our next.
It opens up what, $4 million?
4.9.
Yeah.
4.9 total with Byram going, as well as what cap space has opened up. So which leads us into, with that open cap space, leads us into the hypothetical.
The only thing that stings is the first round draft pick.
Well, I don't think that hurts us very much either, though, because of the fact that we're already stacked on prospects with the Eagles.
Right.
We're so deep. Like, we don't really need another superstar draft pick in the first round to be able to, like, to really make a difference on our roster. So, I mean, it really isn't a loss, ultimately.
No, you're right.
And then, all right, so Michael says Walker will play more. Plus, also, we need players who haven't won a cup and have drive. Sean, Casey, and Zach are here to help us win another cup, and I agree with you right there.
100%.
That drive and determination 100%. Is what's huge. And then if Landy comes back, he is coming back, but I swear we do not. I'm adamant on this. Do not bring him back this year for the playoffs. Let him sit the rest of the season. He hasn't played in 2 years, and to just throw him in to playoff hockey is just begging for him to get hurt again. We need to let him sit until he makes sure he is 110% healed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But he needs to wait until he comes back in next season at the start with full 110% and get his hockey legs back before he jumps into any sort of playoff hard-hitting hockey.
Yes.
So with all this talk of
teams will be targeting him.
Oh yeah, people are going to target him because they know he hasn't played long in 2 years now.
And I think that they know that
he's just coming off a big surgery. Like I'm glad he's around the team. He's traveling with the team. He's a great locker room presence right now for this team to keep everyone's motivation and their sights set on the goal.
Absolutely.
So, that is perfect for exactly what he's doing. So he needs to just kind of stick with that role for now.
Yeah, for sure.
All the way until next season.
Yep.
Now, with all the trade talk, let's go into this hypothetical with all this cap space we've opened up. Do we go after Crosby?
Huh?
Do we go after Crosby? But what would we have to give up in order to bring him here, aside from draft picks?
I think that we can. So we freed up $4 million in cap space with Johansson going to Philly.
Yep.
Or did he? No, he went.
Johansson went to Philly.
Yeah. Okay. Just shy of $2 million with the McDermott trade.
We've opened up $4.9 million.
Yeah.
I just pulled it up, on my phone. We opened up $4.9 million.
Please do math for me, because I'll fuck it up.
Yeah, we've opened up $4.9 million in cap space.
Yeah.
Crosby's hit would only be a $4 million hit.
I'm sorry, fans can be upset about the McDermott trade as they want. It was the right move because
the man did nothing but be a big body on the ice to intimidate people. That's all he was there.
Freed up just shy of $2 million. Like, bring it on.
Why were we paying him $2 million a year when he was only playing 5 minutes a season?
I don't freaking know. I do not know.
But I agree with you. Like, I'd like to go after Crosby, Michael. I would love to. But here's the problem. It's the question of what of our defensive core do we have to give up, which we've already got rid of Byram. What of our offensive core? They're going to want Lehkonen, which we can't deserve to give up Lehkonen. He's a big third liner, second liner. Yeah. We need him in that lineup for this run.
No.
And on top of that, like, it's what Pittsburgh will be asking for. Is what would be the big deal breaker against us getting Crosby. Crosby wants to come here. He wants to come play with his best friend and his training partner in the offseason. He wants to come here and have a shot to win a cup.
He wants to win a cup.
He did say he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild.
Nope, he does not.
So, and we are on the top of the list of his 4-team list that he has that he's willing to be traded to.
That he's willing to,
and we are the number one on that list.
We're the top.
So we could go after him and it'd be great.
Dog.
But hypothetically, the problem is what is Pittsburgh going to ask for in return for him? And that's where my big problem with that hypothetical lies is it's just I don't think it's feasible with us trying to build a cup roster. It's not worth dropping 3 great players to get 1 great player. Because we're trying to add depth scoring so we have 4 full lines instead of 2 great lines and 1 mediocre line.
Right.
Yeah, Sakic has fleeced Dubas. Like, Dubas has been fleeced by Sakic twice now. But when it comes to Crosby, Dubas is not going to get fleeced. Unless we threw out like some sort of crazy amount of conditional picks and a couple first rounders and maybe like throw Callum Ritchie in there, for instance. Like, that would be tough, but then we'd have no draft picks for the next 4 drafts like the Broncos. So, I mean, like, it's definitely a hypothetical, but it's definitely in the cards now with our 4.9 million cap space open. Like, the only way I think we'd fleece them is if we got them to retain Crosby's salary. That would be a total fleecing if we got them to retain his salary.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, but see, we want to be like, we won't need draft picks when we have cup rings, but we want to be a dynasty moving forward, not just have a couple cups and then have to go through this whole process again to where we're trying to rebuild a team that's going to make another cup run.
Right. Exactly.
So, I mean, like with that big hypothetical, like come Friday, maybe even come tomorrow for all we know.
Yeah.
That could be a big thing, but the terms have to be right because Sakic's not going to sacrifice our offensive depth for 1 player. Like he's too smart about that. Like he really is. Like I don't know. Any other thoughts you have on that?
I don't know. We don't need draft picks when we have cup rings.
That's what we were just touching on. Like if we have cup rings, we don't need draft picks. But in the same point, like you gotta still have draft picks. We gotta keep bringing out prospects.
Draft picks because we can't keep continuing to give out contract after contract to max up. Like, yes, the salary cap keeps going up, but not enough to justify continuing to do that.
Yeah. Damn it. I was trying to look up something real quick, which I'm actually really excited about. Give me 2 seconds. Where are you? I hate NHL.com sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's not my most favorite.
All right. So that's what I was trying to pull up. I was pulling up because I'm really excited about this Bo Byram 1-for-1 for Casey Middlestat. I am really, really excited about this trade.
Yeah.
It really, really had me super excited, like that we were even in talks for this guy. Right. Casey Middlestat has played 62 games already.
Yeah.
He's a left-handed shot. He's a center. We've been talking. We need depth center. We need a 3rd and 4th line center. He is sitting on 47 points with a +12 plus-minus already in 62 games.
Wow.
He has 14 goals, 33 assists. He's averaging 0.76 points per game, which isn't crazy high, but it's up there.
Not low.
He's averaging 18 18 minutes, 16 seconds of ice time per game, which that is huge. I mean, that number is going to probably drop a little bit playing on a lower line with us. But who do we think he meshes well with? Do we think we mesh him on the third line with Druin and Lehkonen?
I could see that being okay.
Or I mean, second line with them.
Yeah,
I mean, you kind of can't break up the Colton O'Connor line.
no.
Like that line, they've been jiving really well.
Yeah.
So, all right. Oh, Michael just said there's a 3-team deal available: Pittsburgh, Montreal, and Colorado. To us, we'd get Crosby and Allen. Pittsburgh retains 50%, gets picks and prospects. Montreal retains 25% and gets picks. That would be really interesting, but there's the problem with that.
Oh, no.
We can't really afford both of them, and Allen would just, I don't think Allen's the right guy. Like, I really don't think Allen's the right guy. I mean, it's definitely hypothetical, and like, in theory, it sounds like it'd be a great move,
right?
But Allen's just too far in those latter years of his career, where I don't think he would be our savior in net. Like, once Georgiev starts getting hot close to the playoffs, we're not going to have to worry because once he becomes a brick wall, he's a brick wall.
I hope so.
And Allen does have a cup, but look at how many years ago that cup was.
Right.
Like, that was at the early aspects of his career.
Right.
So, like, it's like, good hypothetical, but on paper. But I don't think that would work. Like, it'd be great to be able to get Crosby here. Like, it would be great to be able to bring Crosby in if both teams are retaining at least a quarter of his salary.
Right. I agree.
So, I mean, it wouldn't be terrible if Sagan was able to make it work. It would work, but it's a matter of what draft picks and prospects we have to give up. I think the top thought process on prospect wise is Callum Ritchie be gone.
Yeah, I agree.
Like that, or you could even send Seth Jones. I'd be okay with dumping Seth Jones.
True story.
So, aside from that, like it's just there's just so much that's going on in the league right now that is just,
oh my gosh, madness.
Like, this time of year is always exciting for me for the NHL. Is like just seeing what teams are willing to do and what they're willing to sacrifice to try to improve and take the gamble, which we're taking gambles, but not big gambles like a lot of teams have been trying to do.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so much going on in the league, and like I don't have a lot of the trade, like league-wide trade news up yet, but I mean, Oilers get Henrique and Carrick from the Ducks in a 3-team trade. Like, how do they, like, Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick go to Edmonton from the Ducks? Like, did Edmonton finally realize that Draisaitl and McDavid aren't all they need?
Aren't all
did they finally figure something out?
I hope so. I hope they play awful.
All right, well, let's go with this. Let's agree our goalies are set, defenseman is set. So hypothetical, what forward would we want to bring in?
Let's see.
Which forward would we want to bring in? That's actually a really good question because there's a lot on the market to go after. And I don't know. Like that one's
What about
actually really tough.
What about Casey Middlestat?
Well, we already got him.
Okay. Sorry.
So for a hypothetical, like to add on for another scoring player,
gotcha.
There's a lot out there, and like I agree. A top 6 winger would be phenomenal, or even like a high production like bottom 6 winger would be okay for us to throw into the fourth line to really like a scoring low bottom 6 winger would be good for the fact that like that would just round out our full depth and have 4 full scoring lines. Toffoli would be good to a point, but my only problem with Toffoli is he takes too many penalties. That would be my only downside with Toffoli is he takes way too many. He doesn't play disciplined hockey. He gets frustrated way too early, way too easily, and he's a hard player. He's a good grinder in the corners, but he doesn't have the speed a lot of these young kids don't have. So he gets caught hooking a lot. He gets caught holding. Like, he's got a short temper. And that's the one thing we can't afford is more undisciplined hockey. We've already been taking enough penalties as is, which has hurt us in recent games past. So if we can learn how to stay out of the penalty box and learn some damn discipline,
that'd be fabulous.
These guys with grandma's wooden spoon, so they'll learn. Like Toffoli could score, but then again, he also gets to that point where he plays selfish hockey and doesn't want to pass the puck.
Yeah.
So Toffoli would be a decent move. Like I wouldn't mind seeing Ryan O'Reilly come back. Like bringing O'Reilly back would be great. The man has great vision on the ice, but he wants to be he's too stuck on being a top liner that he wouldn't settle for anything lower than top line.
He doesn't have a great rapport in the locker room, and I think that's important.
True. Well, let's talk about other people that we've seen being brought back. Who was your big surprise that everyone wanted to bring back? That was recent that we were talking about earlier.
That has already been brought back, or that's rumored?
That's looking to be that people want to be brought back.
Alex Kerfoot.
Kerfoot wouldn't be bad.
No, I was just kind of surprised.
Yeah, see that one does that talk there surprises me, and it's wild to think that people do want to bring these players back just because they have love in their heart from them from being here before. But I mean, come on. Well, hey, have a good night, Michael. Thanks for coming in. Enjoy. I'm glad you came in. Go Avs, go. Have a good night. But I mean, bringing him in was just someone back that we already let go that wasn't helping us in the process, that helped bring us in to more winning ways. Why would we want to bring them back for that same issue again? You falling asleep over there? Oh, she nosed off on me. You falling asleep on us?
There is a chance. I had a bit of a long day. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, I understand. Long day. I've been at the hospital one day, so.
I know.
But
I'm sorry.
why don't we say wrap this up a little early for the simple fact that we do have the Avs Red Wings starting in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So that way everyone can kind of get your drinks together, get your TV set up and geared up and ready to watch the Avs kick some Red Wing ass.
Yes. Red Wings.
So,
but I do love seeing JT Comfort though.
Oh, what's crazy and what's nice is it's Comfort's first game back in Denver since we let him go.
He gets a standing
do you think Comfort gets a standing O tonight?
Comfort?
Yeah. You think he gets a standing O?
Yes.
All right, well, let's make sure we shut down Patrick Kane, that little asshole.
Yeah. Not hurt him, but don't let him score.
We just need to shut him down and not let him shoot the puck.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so
and we need to annihilate the puck, like assault the goalie.
Drive the net, pucks on net. As long as we do that, the puck bounces will come our way.
Yes.
All right, before we end up closing it out for the night, what are your score predictions for this evening?
Let's see. I'm gonna go 6-3 Avs.
Oh, you're going high scoring. Okay. I think it's going to be a little tighter. I think it's going to be 3-2 Avs.
Okay.
I think it'll be 3-2 Avs.
Let's see. They're at home?
We're here, yes.
Okay. McKinnon continues the point streak.
McKinnon continues the point streak and increases it to 31.
I agree.
I think he either scores the first goal or he gets a wicked beautiful pass, wicked beautiful assist on the first goal.
Or gets the last goal.
Either way, as long as he seals it and keeps that streak going, I'm happy.
I'm happy.
But huge 2 points tonight. This would tie us with Winnipeg if we do pull this off and get the 2 points tonight.
Yes.
So, on that note, thanks for joining us this week for our weekly roundup of what's going on in Avalanche hockey and the most important trade deadline show. Go Avs go, and thanks for watching Blizzard Warner with me and Jenna.
Have a great night. Go Avs.
Go Avs.
Red Wings